Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be flip throughing another Teach Your Child to Read workbook. If you watch my last video, no, not my last, I think it was like 3 or 4 videos ago, I made a flip through of The Ordinary Guide to Teaching Reading. I absolutely love the book. I think the book was great, and I think that if anybody chooses to use that book to teach a child or an adult or whatever, a person to read, I think that book is capable of teaching someone to read. But here we are with this book. Before I start, I do want to say this video is just a flip through. This video is not me telling you go out and buy this book to teach your child to read. This book is also, this video is also not a video of me criticizing the creators and authors and illustrator of this book. It's just my opinion. Like every single video I make, it's just my opinion. It may not be your opinion, but it's mine. I do want to say, before I start and flip through in this book, I did not like this book. I will explain why, but I didn't like it. I thought this book, this is really hard for me to say, because there's so many people that have, used this book before. I have watched so many videos of people reviewing this book, and they love it. They said it worked for their kids. And here I am, flip throughing, what am I trying to say? And here I am going through this book the first day I got it and hating it. Like, literally hating it. And I don't know. I couldn't find anything that I liked that would tell me I'm stuttering. There's nothing in this book that, speaks to me that says, okay, tell the audience, tell your subscribers to go and order this book or go get it from their library, which I got from my library. There's nothing in me that's saying that. And it really, really sucks because, there's so many people. Oh my gosh, sorry about the birds. There's so many people that have used this book and have loved it and have taught their kids how to read. And, oh gosh, sorry. I'm all over the place, honestly. But for me, I personally don't think this book, I will ever use it. And if I do, it will be like what I'm doing now. It will be pretty much a review or talking about it, but never actually using it to teach a child to read. I rather use The Ordinary Guide of Teaching Reading rather than this book, in my opinion, but everyone has their own opinion. Okay, like I said, I got this book from the library. If you like this video and you like what this book offers, I definitely recommend taking it out in your library first before purchasing it. I think this book runs for around $20, maybe a little more, I'm not sure. But if your library has this book, take it out, look in depth, because I'm not going to flip through every single page. I'm just going to skip a lot of pages. But if you really want to look in depth in this book, I definitely recommend buying it or taking it out in your library. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I don't know why. I don't want this video to be too long. So let's just get started. Here's the reading lesson, the Intelligent Reading Program for Young Children. Teach your child to read in 20 easy lessons. By Michael Levin and Sharon Langton. Here's the side. Sorry, it's all beat up, but it's a library book. Here's the back. If you want to pause and read it, you can. Should I read it? I don't know. Maybe I will. Okay, I will. Excuse me. So, you hold in your hands a superbly designed reading program created especially for young children. This developmentally appropriate reading course will teach your child to read fluent and well in 20 step-by-step lesson. The program can also be used for children with reading difficulties. The reading lesson, which this is the book, that's what the book is called, is a structured phonics teaching method based on a modern reading theory. Its innovative guide reading approach helps children learn to read with ease. Only 10 minutes a day, and you will see your child learning new letters and words and beginning to read short stories. The stories are simple and fun, and your child will be reading them for the very first from the very first lesson. In every lesson, there are a delightful picture to color, matching exercises, puzzles, and other reading activity. The crisp format and simple style keep children focused. Companion multimedia products make the sound of letters and words come alive. You can find more about these products at the back of the book. As I read, they do have a lot of exercises and puzzles and reading activities. I think when you're teaching a child to read, that can be really distracting to the child, at least not to all children, because public schools do that. Oh, I do want to say that if you are thinking of buying this book or getting this book or you want more information about it, this book, I think that it's mainly, it will work for public school teachers or homeschool moms or parents or guardians who want to follow the way that public schools do teach reading. I think this is what Monique and David would do in public school when they officially start learning to read. Because if you guys don't know, Monique and David are just finished kindergarten this past month, June, and they didn't learn to read in school. They learned sight words. They didn't learn to read. So I definitely would say that this book is what public schools will use either in first grade, if they ever do decide to teach reading, or in second and the rest of the grades. I really don't know. Oh, before I start, I do want to say, fun fact, yesterday I learned that the kid's older brother, he's 11, when he was in second grade, he read his first chapter book. Isn't that crazy? A second grader reading their first chapter. I know, okay, let me be honest. I know there's a lot of kids who read their first chapter book in fourth, in sixth grade. I know that. But it's kind of amazing that, for some reason, to me, is amazing that kids are not learning to read chapter books or reading chapter books at a younger age. Okay. Stop. I'm going out of track. So the book was the Fly Guy books. And David read that months ago. He read that in the beginning of this year. Or maybe even, he definitely read that in the beginning of the year. And he was in kindergarten, and their older brother was in second grade. I don't know if it was the beginning or the end of second grade. But that was insane to me to find out that he didn't read his first chapter book. Which, the Fly Guy books are not even chapter books, in my opinion. So I'm talking too much. Let's get into the book. I will talk a little bit more about that at the end of the book. Okay, this is the first page. Oh, another thing, because this is a library book, you're going to see a lot of handwritings, because a lot of people that have taken this book out have written on it. So, as you see from pages like this. Okay, here is let me zoom that in a little bit. Welcome to the reading lessons. You can pause this and read it to yourself. If you want to know more about the book. Here's the second page, the third page, and the pages are also numbered really weird. You're gonna see that. I don't even know how many pages are in this book because they're numbered super weird. Oh, here is how to use this course. Okay, we're 8 minutes in. Let me go a little faster. Okay, there it is. Okay, here is the lesson. There's 20 lessons, as they mentioned at the beginning of the book. So this is what your child will learn in lesson 1, lesson 2, 3, 4, etc., etc., etc. This is definitely not enough for your child to be reading in a third, fourth. I think if I could decide what reading level this book, when your child finishes, will be at, I think your child will be either in an advanced first grade, beginning second grade reading level. I don't think your child will be reading in a advanced second grade, almost third grade, or by the end of second grade. I don't think so. I think this book is definitely a lot more for beginning readers. So if you're an adult and if you're someone who wants to teach an adult to read with this book, the adult will finish with this book reading in a second grade level. No more than that. In a beginning. If you do want a book, from my recommendation, that will help, that is for an adult, for all ages, that will be way up than a second grade level. Either the Ordinary Guide of Teaching Reading, or the book that I'm using now for the twins is Alpha Phonics, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is my own cover, but this is Alpha Phonics. I think that both books, the child by the end of the book, the child will be reading in a middle school level. In my opinion, it could be, other people's opinion could be different. But okay, 10 minutes in and I'm taking too long. Here's the beginning. Okay, so the first thing they have in the beginning of the book is the alphabet sounds. So you can do this with your child if you want to. Your child doesn't know the sounds of the alphabet. Here is lesson 1. So every single lesson, they start off with explaining, what they're gonna do and what the teacher is gonna have to do with the student. They don't really go in depth on like how to teach the lesson. This is literally what you will get. The first lesson does have a lot more pages than the rest of them. I think it's like, it has 3. Yeah, it's 3 pages worth of explanation, but then the rest, like from lesson 2 all the way to 20, there's like half of a page of explaining what to do. So that's one thing that I dislike about this book, is that they don't explain too much how to teach. Sorry, the lighting. They don't explain too much on how to teach each lesson to a child. Every children learns differently, so that was something that I already started disliking about this book. Okay, let's go closer to the camera. All right, and if you want to stop the video and read this, you can. Okay, and here is some more stuff here. So here it tells you what your child needs to do. So the child would need to point to each letter and sound it out, and then blend the sounds together. And yeah, more explanation here. Okay, and this is the first lesson. So the first thing that they want the child to do is, let's learn the new sound. So they'll read the instructions under each letter to the child. The name of this letter is C. It makes the K as in cat. The name of this letter is O. It makes the O as in octopus. And then it just keeps on explaining, and then that's it. That's literally the first page. And if your child is a child who learns things really quickly, one day will be really enough for the child. But if there's like Monique, for example, Monique and David. David would take like 1 or 2 days to memorize this, and then he would get it down packed. But Monique, it would take her like a week. When she first started homeschooling, it would take her like a week to memorize this and to actually remember the rules. So there's, this will be a couple days to some children, or maybe a week, or maybe even more to some. Here, sorry about the movement of the camera. Let's sound out these letters. So they have a bunch of random letters, and then the child would just point to it and sound it out. I like this. I think that's pretty interesting. Really, really cool. Here's some of the handwriting that I was talking to you about. Okay, and this is where it got me, like, to go down in this curriculum. Like, first, this was okay, right? This first page. And then the second page was like, okay, I like it. I'm liking how this curriculum goes. And then it was like, what? Why is there connecting, like, the lines to the letters to the pictures? What? Like, I would never expect that to be in a reading curriculum. Like, it got me so confused. Another thing that I really don't like about reading curriculum is when they have pictures. I think that when you're first teaching a child to read, especially a child who has no knowledge in reading, adding pictures, it's going to be so confusing all over the place for some children. Some like it, some don't. And some don't need it. Even if they do like it, even if they thrive with pictures, they don't need pictures. And that's why I mentioned that this workbook is really good for public schools, because public schools do this. They want everything to be pictures. Everything to be, okay, this is an apple, the word apple, and then they have to show a picture. So this is why I say that this book is, like, great for teachers who want to teach kids to read. Like, everything about it. Okay. I don't like this part, but if you guys want to know about it, the child will just sound this and then connect it to the picture that has the same sound in the beginning. Pretty simple. Here is Let's Read. So already in the first lesson, they have your child blending. I don't know if that's something that a lot of kids are going to master right away. When I first started teaching Monique and David to read, I didn't even introduce a reading curriculum because I wanted them to at least master the 2-letter blends before I, started with alpha phonics. A lot of kids are able to get that right away. David was one of those kids who blending was really easy for him, but Monique, it took her a really long time. I remember how long it took her to learn to blend, and when she finally did it, I was so happy. But I don't think that you should introduce a reading curriculum to a child if they don't know how to blend two-letter words, in my opinion. But every child is different. But yeah, right away they have the child in lesson 1 blending at, t, ta. Yeah, pretty simple. Here they have again a bunch of letters that the child would just have to sound out. So they do repetitive things, which I like. They repeat things for the child can remember. And here again they have like the blending two letters. And then we're still in lesson 1, guys. I do want to show you right there. We're in lesson 1. I haven't moved away from lesson 1, and they already started teaching a child to read three-letter words. Like, don't you see how confusing that is? To go from introducing letter sounds or / letters to then introducing 2 letters and then again reviewing the letters and then now introducing 3-letter blends. Like, that's so confusing to a child. That's so quick. That's why I say that with certain pages, the child is going to last days and even weeks with a certain page because it's going to take them a long time to master the blending. Blending is not something that comes easily to kids. It's going to take them a while. So that's another thing I don't like about this curriculum, is that they go into things really, really quickly, in my opinion. But here it is, 3-letter blends. And then they have, like, again, 3-letter blend, 2-letter blends, 3-letter blends, and a little story. And again, with the pictures in the bottom for your child to color, like they said. And at the, is this the end? No, it's not. Here we have reviewing, so the child will read these words. So here it says, can you read these words without help? Here's another activity. So the child will be, the words here are the same as on the opposite page, but one letter in each word fell off. Which letter is missing? So I guess the child can look at this page and find out which is okay. I personally don't like that, but a lot of parents may. Here is, again, a bunch of words, and it's kind of starting them off with, like, little sentences. Like, for example, here, a cat sat. More words, so again, repeating the words that they already learned, but putting them together to create a little sentence. Same thing again. Here's more activities, which, what is wrong with my phone? Here's more activities. Again, putting the lines to each picture. And then the end is just a review of the words at, cat, and sat. And then that's it. The child is done with the first lesson. That's how much your child learned. And I know that a lot of parents are going to be like, I don't think my child is going to be able to do that. You know, it's going to take me really, really long time for my child to be able to read those words. And that's true. But there's some kids who are able to fly through lesson 1 really quickly. But there's some who are not going to be able to do that. I don't know what's wrong with this light. But, okay. That was lesson 1. And now we're here in lesson 2. I'm not going to flip through every single lesson because pretty much every single lesson is the same thing. Obviously, the only difference is they teach different sounds, but then, like, the exercises and activities are pretty much the same thing. Hopefully, I'll know how to put music and in the background of this video, and I'll just flip through this. So, hopefully, you guys enjoy this, the flip through, and I'll see you guys at the end of this book where I talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so this is the last lesson, which is lesson 20. And like I said before, they introduce the sounds, and then they introduce a bunch of letter sounds and words that they have learned in the past lessons. They read words, they read a bunch of words. And if you saw, there is a lot of really good things in this book, but there's also a lot of really bad things. And I think that's why I don't like this book, because of the bad things outweigh the good things. There's so many bad things that I dislike about this book that all the good things just kind of like go under the table. I don't like the activities. I don't like the pictures in this book. I think that the book is all over the place. I think that they bounce too much. Like, if you ever look in Alpha Phonics, and I have made videos of, like, what the kids do, day in a life videos for homeschool, and you will just look at Alpha Phonics. Watch one of those videos. I recently just posted one. And if you look at it, the child will be learning things, and then that's it. They learn it, and they do review it, but they learn it, and they don't, like... It's not all over the place, which I feel like this curriculum is. And maybe it's just because I have used Alpha Phonics for a year already, that I like it so much. But it also is because this book is just not a book that I think would teach a child to read. I think this book will be really boring for some people because of how all over the place and how, like, I don't know. It's super boring to me. And I'm an adult. Imagine a child. In lesson 20, the last couple of pages, they do have a bunch of little stories with obviously illustration in the top. Monique has read 2 or 3 of these I almost said illustrations. 2 or 3 of these little stories, and she enjoyed them. But she didn't enjoy the book. She enjoyed the stories because a lot of these stories she has read before. Like, they're similar to stories she has read before in other books. But overall, she found this super easy. So if I'm correct, then this book is the child will be reading in a 2nd grade level by the end of this book. Then that means that Monique and David, they haven't even finished. Well, Monique hasn't even finished Alpha Phonics. She's in lesson 70-something or 80-something. Let me actually look. She's in lesson 77 in Alpha Phonics. And if she's able to read this with no difficulty, that means that Monique is in a 2nd grade level by the middle of Alpha Phonics. So that already tells you that Alpha Phonics is way better. But like I said before, this is not bashing this book. This is just my opinion. There must be a lot of people who have used this book and have loved it. That's why people buy it. But in my opinion, I don't think this book is worth getting. And if you do decide to get it, definitely go to your library, see if they have it before purchasing it, and really, really flip through this book and see if it's good for your child. Because personally, I don't think this book will be good for a lot of different kids, in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the Teach How to Read in 20 Easy Lessons. I know I was a little bit harsh in this book, but I do want to say that this book just doesn't seem good. It focuses too much on activities. Like, in one lesson, it has over like 3 or 4 activities. And it's like, why do they need activities to teach reading? Why do you? I know that there's a lot of kids who need that, but I think that we can also we don't have to do activities. Like, for the kids who who learn things by doing activities, we should introduce like Alpha Phonics or introduce the Ordinary Guides to Teaching Reading. And if those don't work, then I definitely recommend this. If Alpha Phonics does not work for your child, if the Ordinary Guide to Teaching Reading doesn't work for your child, then go ahead and use this. But if those workbooks work, I definitely recommend to sticking with it. I have talked to a lot of homeschool moms and people who are about to homeschool, and they always ask me, what do I recommend to teach reading? And I always say Alpha Phonics. Not only because it worked for Monique and David, but because I have seen the result in other kids online of people that I have talked to that have praised about Alpha Phonics. So it's not only because it has worked for my students. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this book has some things that are good, but like I said before, the bad things outweigh the good, and that's not really fun when you want a curriculum that teaches your child to read. But yeah, this is the book. If you are interested in it, like I said, look in your library to see if they have it. If you have any question about the book, good or bad, if you have any comments, it could be comments saying, my child used that book and they are reading in a 5th grade level. Comment that, because I really would like to know why. How is this book teaching a child to read? So if you ever use this book, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know how it went for you. Let me know if you stuck with it, if you did or if you didn't. And that's pretty much it. Again, guys, I do want to say that this video is not bashing the author and anybody who created this book. It's just my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people should know that not every single reading curriculum out there is good. There's a lot of bad ones and also a lot of good ones, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you have any questions, any comments, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.